as should you, because it is something that we've all been waiting for such a long time in terms of the content we've seen. I'm giving you a little bit of a spoiler alert. It's perhaps one of the coolest productions you will see if you were to switch on your OTT services. Creativity through the female lens. In this fireside chat with Zoya Akhtar, an acclaimed director, writer, and producer, we will explore her insights into the art and business of filmmaking, her creative journey, and how she navigates creative spaces to redefine storytelling possibilities for women. This particular session will be moderated by Kali Puri, Vice Chairperson at the India Today Group. Can we have a huge round of applause, please?
Writer, producer, and director Zoya Akhtar. I would define your year as made in heaven, where with one the heart, you landed us in the gorgeous world of Archies, where later we will wonder, kho gaye hum kahan? If you've not seen a Zoya film, you really have not had any luck by chance. And you really need to go and see one because zindagi na milegi dobara. This cheesy intro has been written for you by ChatGPT. That's why we still need human, creative originals like you, Zoya Akhtar. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So welcome and congratulations on the premiere of Archies, which just
Thank you.
launched yesterday on Netflix. So all of you who haven't caught it, this is a great thing to do tonight. How are you feeling?
Mixed, because you don't, like the minute you release till the Monday, you don't really know. So it's like a bit of a mixed feeling, but it's over. There's one thing gone, one thing out in the universe. So there's a sense of relief, there's a sense of relax with that. But there's also a little anxiety as to, I hope people watch it.
I mean, the initial reviews have been really good, so fingers crossed. Now, which character of Archies do you identify with?
That depends on the day.
Okay, today. Today.
Like today, I would say I'm a little harrowed and stretched. So I would say today I'm a bit I'm conflicted. So I'm Archie.
Archie is always in conflict. What are you mostly? Archie?
Yeah, I'm a Libran.
Actually, it's so funny. I didn't know what you would pick, but in my mind, I picked Archie for you because I felt he was somebody who gets people together around a cause.
That too.
Right? Yeah. And he has a good heart.
Yeah.
So that both
I'd
those
like
things.
to think so.
So the premiere saw the entire Bollywood out. Directors, stars, and it's an OTT release, right? So it was like this great unifier. Now, what would you put that down to? How come the whole of Bollywood came out to watch you?
I think because we know, we've worked with so many people together. There were some actors in the film whose parents are in film, so they would come out anyway because it's their kids' film. And I've worked with so many actors, so many directors are my friends. I've been in the business for that long, so people would come out to watch a movie.
But sometimes directors don't want to celebrate other directors, right?
No. The directors are pretty, there's a lot of camaraderie in the director fraternity.
It's only the superstars that fight with each other.
No, actually they don't. You know what I mean? Of course there's a competition, of course there's rivalry, but the industry has each other's back. I mean, people are there for each other.
Well, I think it's also because you are a bridge builder. And that's why people came out in such support to be there for you, and I think that that's the role of women. Do you feel that women are better bridge builders than men?
I don't look at it like women are better in this or men are better in that. I think it's a very individual thing. I think certain people are better at bringing people together and certain people are not. I mean, I know a lot of men that are great communicators. I know a lot of men that are amazing cooks. I know a lot of men that are nurturers. And I know a lot of women that are like what traditionally we think men do, that make great leaders. I know a lot of women that would get you the better deal. You know, so it's an individual trait.
So it was quite a turnout and a huge turnaround because I don't know how many people here know, but it took you 7 years for the industry to believe in you and to get your first film out, Luck by Chance, in 2009. And this is in spite of your pedigree and the fact that you have a diploma from NYU and that you interned with Meera Nair. I mean, what was the hesitation? Was it your gender or what
No,
was the
it
hesitation?
wasn't my gender for sure. It was, I think, the fact that I wanted to make Luck by Chance, and that wasn't a formulaic film. And I think at that time it was very nascent. The multiplex business was very nascent. The audience palette hadn't changed. It wasn't a regular movie. It was an ensemble. The male lead, all the characters were grey. Those weren't the kind of roles we saw. So people didn't know how it would land. And if I had decided to make a love story, I think I would have had an easier time. So it wasn't formulaic, and I think that's what took time.
So tell us a little bit about how were you able to sell a new idea completely out of formula finally? How did you manage that?
Finally, what happened was there were a couple of people that said yes to it, like Ritik Roshan. He said yes to doing Zafar. Mr. Rishi Kapoor said yes to playing Romy Rowley. So eventually, Farhan said yes to the lead. After 6 people, I went to him. So I said eventually,
like very
when
nice
actors,
big
yeah,
brother
true.
support.
I said eventually when actors said yes, let's do it. I mean, the funding came through. Yeah.
So how did you battle that period of rejection, right? What is your advice to other women out here who may have a dream and then, you know, are getting the big no's? How do you stick to the plan?
I mean, at least in my business, it's the rejection is part of it. It's par for the course. So when you start out, the struggle to get there, whoever you are, you could be an amazing, you could get your first break immediately, but that doesn't mean you're going to be liked. That doesn't mean your film will be successful. That doesn't mean you're validated by the audience. On some stage or the other, you are going to face rejection. You could be a superstar for 10 years and then for the next 5 years, your films are rejected. At some stage in this business, you are rejected. So it needs to be water off a duck's back or you are not surviving. So yes, of course, you get your moods, you can stay home, you can cry, you can do your self-help, you can do meditate, you do whatever it takes. Get up, get back on the horse. There's no other way.
So is this something that you knew because you were part of a sort of family where films were being made and so you kind of saw the rejection and it was discussed at the dinner table, so you thought maybe you're more immune to it?
No, you're right. You do realize that this comes and goes, and it's ephemeral. Yeah, it's like they're not there. It's transient. You know, you have a hit today, you don't have a hit tomorrow. It is. So you know that it still hurts as hell. I mean, you're not going to pretend it doesn't matter, but you can cope with it. You know how to deal with it. You know that you have to move on. A movie can't shut you down. That's all. One failure can't shut you down.
Because one of the other things that comes out in research related to women is that a lot of women with one rejection suffer imposter syndrome, self-doubt. Like, oh, it must be me, right? I haven't got it right.
No, but I have felt sometimes that when my film has done well. I'm like, are you sure? I mean, I think every artist has that. I know men that have imposter syndrome. I mean, we've discussed it. It's not a female thing.
So how do you overcome it? What are the things that you do which, you know, the larger audience could like kind of benefit from?
The thing is, you talk it through. You talk it to people you trust, people if people are reacting to your work, there must be something there. And if they're not reacting to your work, there must be something there, you know. So you get over the hoopla, but you have to be honest with yourself. You have to think it through. And honestly, what do you want? Like, I'm a filmmaker. I love doing I love my job.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back to doing my job now. There are times when it's like, is this real? Is this happening? Did I get it right? Did I not? Do people really like it that much? Is it that good? Is it that bad? All that's going to come and go. And that is every single artist. Every single artist.
So you're saying at the core of it is you reconnect back with passion. Why are you actually doing it? The fact that you love doing this and that pulls you through.
Yeah.
Right? So now you have multiple projects going on. You've just finished Archie's and you have another film coming out. Kho Gaye
हो गए हम
Kahan.
कहाँ?
Haan. Finally and firstly, how are you managing to do all of this?
खो गए हम कहाँ is written by Arjun Varen Singh, who's a debutant director, Reema Kakti and me. We co-produced it with Excel Entertainment, and it's coming on Netflix. And Arjun, I mean, once my work as a writer and a creative producer, like packaging it, all was done, they've kind of led it on their own. So there's a whole team. I don't have to physically do everything.
Yeah.
But now it's going to come out. So yeah, we'll see.
So how do you, what is your advice for juggling? Because you're obviously juggling all these things around.
I mean, my advice for juggling is I take time, I'm like 3 hours on this if I'm writing. I'll spend 3 hours on this and I'll go into the next thing for 2-3 hours, then I'll do that. It's not ideal, but if you have to do it, then be open and do it.
So it's time discipline.
Just get
then.
on with it. You know, it's not ideal, but if you have to do it, you have to do it.
So it's time discipline then. Do you have somebody managing your time or are you pretty good at it yourself?
I do manage some of my time, and then there's that lady sitting there, Nahid, who, who rules my life, who runs my life.
She rules your life,
Yeah.
not the watch.
No.
So what are the things that you do for yourself then? Because I mean, to be able to do multiple things, you have to be able to reconnect to yourself.
Yeah, I hang with my dogs.
Ah.
Yes, I'm a very early bird. I wake up very early.
That's not euphemism for some people that you think
No,
are.
no.
They are real dogs.
No, my real dogs. I hang
Okay.
with my dogs. That's like the most relaxing thing. I wake up early. I'm an early riser. So those 2 hours, I wake up by 5:36. So those 2 hours in the day are just me. And that's very key. So either if I'm doing yoga or I'm just reading, or sometimes I just do nothing, or sometimes I catch up on something I haven't watched. But that early morning where there's no one awake is my time.
So I believe the dogs also travel with you on set.
Well, they came to Uti, yes.
They came.
I was there for 4 months. Yeah, I can't leave my dogs.
And did in Dil Dhadakne Do, is that your dog?
No, that's not my dog. That's an act. He's an actor.
Okay, so what is the breed of your dogs?
I've got beagles.
Okay, so small, so they can travel.
Yeah, they're
back and forth.
mid-size, yeah.
So I think that this is quite a high point, right? You've got a film that's just released on OTT. You've got another one coming out. It's been a pretty good year. What would be your advice from the high point? Because we kind of talked about what it was like when you had big no's and rejections. Now you are a celebrated director. You don't have to do anything. You choose what you want to do.
Yeah.
You choose who you want to work with, right? So what is your advice to women from a high point? Well, like, what are the things that you did right? What would you like to say to, thought leaders, CEOs sitting here?
I mean, you do right things, you do wrong things. Even at this stage, sometimes you don't get the first person you choose to work with. That's going to keep happening. But I think I did whatever I wanted to do, and I tried to construct in a way that I felt would work with the market. I didn't, let's just say I didn't do something someone else had done before. And that wasn't deliberate. It's just what interests me. So I'm going to give an example. Like say when I was really, I was blown away by the rap scene in Bombay. Like I'm going to talk about my last film. And
That's
that
Gully
wasn't,
Boy.
yeah, that wasn't really conventional music, and there wasn't really a conventional narrative to have a kid out of Dharavi, and it wasn't really a mainstream narrative. So, but I took that world, I took whatever I wanted to say about class, and I packaged it into what I thought was a rags to riches story, which is accessible to people.
Okay.
It's like the Rocky
Very
of rap.
interesting.
you
Right,
know.
right.
So people understand an underdog story. So not that I think the rappers are underdogs, I think they're super winners. But I packaged it and I wrote it, and wrote it in that way that is understandable to the audience. And then it doesn't matter if it's rapping or boxing or horse riding, it doesn't matter so much. You're invested in the personal story.
Are you a horse rider? Because the second time you've said
No,
something
I
about
just love horses.
Okay. No, I wanted to go back to that. So at which point do you know that this story is working? Is it gut feel? Because
You never know.
sometimes when you're making a decision, which
You
is...
never know. You may think it's working, but it comes out it's not working. You never know.
So how do you take that decision? Is it a leap of faith
If it
for
works
you?
for you,
So you...
are you responding to it? Is it working for you? Do you believe it? Would you like to watch it?
Because it's easy to do things in business and in creative projects which have been done before, right? Now you're like, oh, okay, I can do that, copy, paste, change a little bit. And it's much harder to do things which are new. You have to kind of feel it from inside.
You have to feel it. You have to have a need for it. You have to, it has to resonate with you. And somewhere you have to feel that, okay, there is, like, okay, so this doesn't exist in the market. So maybe someone will want to sample it. Or if I need it, they need it too. If I like being told this, someone else may be inspired by it too. You know, if I get entertained by it, someone else might engage it too. First, you have to need it and want it.
Right. You don't do surveys and you don't do analysis and paralysis by analysis. So it is gut
I mean, I
feel
don't,
then.
but I do have my ear to the ground. I mean, I do watch the news, I read the news, I'm into pop culture, I listen to people around me, I meet all kinds of people. So that on some level is my survey.
She's endorsing social media and all the time we spend on Instagram,
Yes.
right? It's market research. As a person who represents a minority in different ways, including gender, do you feel an extra sense of responsibility on what you need to do in the current
Firstly,
environment?
I don't think my gender is a minority.
Okay,
I'm
nice.
sorry, but I don't feel like I'm a minority in my gender. We are 50%. How is that a minority?
So you feel that you're never in a boardroom or in a situation where you are in a minority? Because in a lot of our boardrooms...
I mean, there are times where there may be fewer women in the room, but that's it. There are times I'm in rooms where there are fewer men, and I hope they don't feel insecure. Because I don't feel insecure.
No, I'm sure they do, just because of your sheer talent.
Yeah, I mean,
Nothing to
I
do
don't
with
feel
gender.
insecure around men, and I hope men don't feel insecure around me. I'm very fortunate to be in spaces that are pretty, I mean, I don't know, I'm in an equalized environment, I think.
So as a director, do you have a gender lens? Because it seems to me you do not. You're just there as an individual and you're looking at things.
Yes, but obviously I have, I mean, I'm a girl and I grew up, I mean, I'm a woman, I grew up with a particular experience of the world. I've navigated the world with a particular gender. So
Yeah.
yes, my experiences have been different. My composition on a level is different. So that's my lensing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But at the same time, I'm also a human being that's extremely open and aware to the other gender and to humanity, so to speak. So yes, there's things of me that would be my gaze, that would be a particularly female gaze, but then there would be things that would be a particularly Zoya gaze.
Right.
A particularly urban...
Zoya factor.
Yeah, an urban Indian girl gaze. You understand? So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many specifics.
But then Gully Boy is not Indian woman urban gaze at all.
Of course it is. Gully Boy is such a Mumbai story.
Yeah, actually
It
the
is
women
such
are.
an
The
urban-
main protagonist in it is like out of what would be open to us, right? That's not somebody you would engage with on
No,
a...
I would engage with
Okay.
because I am an artist.
Ah,
And I would engage with an artist no matter where they came from.
okay.
So yes, I work with all kinds of people, and I completely resonated with that kid
Yeah.
because he had taken his entire life and experience and put it into a form that moved me,
Yeah.
that educated me, and so what if it's not my reality, but I felt him, and when I met him, he felt me.
No, I
And-
love that you opened up a new world for so many people.
I don't look at it that way, but there's so many specifics besides just like I am from Mumbai, which is a very unique city. I am an urban kid. I had a very privileged upbringing. I was educated in a particular way. All those things inform my lensing.
Why was Zindagi Na Mile Dobara a bachelorette party versus a bachelor party? Was it that you think in 2011 women weren't doing the bachelorette party and somewhere we've moved 10 years later,
No,
12 years later?
I don't think so. I don't think that. I just think that I grew up with, I had a lot of male friends. And I have done innumerable road trips with them.
You are actually one of the men in the Zindagi Na Mile.
No, I was the girl there. I wasn't one of the men.
Ah,
I
you
was
were
the girl.
Katrina.
Yeah, you're very confused with this gender thing. Sorry.
No, it's
I
good.
was a girl.
It's good. That actually,
But
you just look at it as...
I have a lot of male friends. I've done a lot of road trips across the country, and they've been some great experiences. And I wanted to put that down. Remind me, wanted to put that down in a film.
So you have a real eye for detail, and I believe that on your set, even if a drawer or a cupboard is not going to be opened, it'll have the aesthetic and products which would belong to that set.
Yes, and that's my, I have to say that's my production designer, Suzanne Merangi. She's incredible. And she just believes that if you're working on a set, then everything should be accessible on the set for the director and the actors. So if they are in a bedroom, then there'll be the alarm clock and the clock will work. There you can open the drawer and there'll be things that that character would have in the bedside. The desk will have things. So you can play with them, you can use them. It feels alive.
Is that one of your superpowers, your attention to detail?
But yes, things, I mean, yeah, I like details. Details make everything.
So are you very bossy on sets then?
No, I'm not bossy, I'm the boss.
I like that.
There's a difference.
So I believe you're also very calm on set, right?
Yes.
And there's a lot going on a set. For people who don't know, maybe at a time, 200 people need to sync together to give you that perfect shot. So how do you maintain that calm?
I like my environment to be peaceful. I think people do the best work because we are doing a creative job and it's a high stress job, it's a high stakes job, there's a lot of money involved, time is money, and I think people work in an environment where there's peace. We are also making entertainment, we're making art, and people need to enjoy what they do, and I'm very lucky to work with people that are really masters in their game, and they come in there, so you don't want to create a situation which is stressful for people. I don't like people operating under stress, and I don't want people to be scared of me. I don't like that feeling. It's a very collaborative art, and I won't get the best out of them if I am in a bad mood.
So how do you keep your mood? How do you keep the calm?
By communication. I communicate with people. I'm a big prepper. It's very important for me to be well prepped. So my team and me, we know what we're doing. We know what we want. Everything is almost pre-decided. So when it comes and the clock is ticking and you're on set, there's really not much to iron out. The work is already done. And I find it better to communicate if something is not right than let it fester and create a bad vibe.
Nandini also said that a little while ago. Basically, that she needed to communicate more, and that's really a key part of our jobs. Do you think that you're able to also maintain your calm because you have a professional and personal crew that you have worked with for so long, and there's a very closely knit team?
Yes, that is true. I have a certain amount of key people that I work with regularly, and it's family now. There is a sync, like with, say, Suzanne Merangi, who's my production designer. This is my third feature film with her. So we do have a complete, there is a tuning already set, and there's a comfort level, there's a trust that's formed. But having said that, I also work with new people on each film.
Right.
But they come in there, and I think we kind of break the ice before we get into it. And once you're prepped and you know it, we kind of figure each other's personality out, then it's okay.
So how do you inspire that mix of loyalty and getting new people in and not causing insecurity in your, old team? Because a lot of us have to deal with that, right?
No, I think there's something really underrated is just be kind. Just be nice to people. It goes a long way. Just even if you don't want something, just speak to people nicely. If you don't, apologize, just be kind. Just acknowledge people, validate them. If you screw up, just say sorry. It matters. Even if it's like the lowest assistant in your team. that you snapped at, apologize.
Is this something you learned the hard way, or is this
No,
something
it's
that was
important.
part of
I mean,
your
I've done
family?
I have done, yes, I mean, I was brought up in a particular way.
Yeah.
So yes, I owe it to my parents. But at the same time, I've done every job on a film set.
Because
I've
families
started
can be
from,
also very unkind to each other, right? Because like you can have brutal honesty.
no, but yeah, but we are honest, but we never, we don't cross the line. And if you do cross the line, in a sense that if you feel you've said or hurt someone, you apologize, you take responsibility for it, you know. And I've done every job on a film set. So I've been a PA. So I know what it means to be at different levels, you know, and what the hierarchy is. So I think that's very important. And I think besides that, it's you have to share the limelight. So you have to share the victories.
Do you think that it's this that allowed you to basically take a risk and work with non-seasoned actors? You worked with newcomers and you have launched 7 bright young things that, you know, and it's a challenge because you could have worked with seasoned actors, but you went ahead and you worked with 7 people who had never been on set, never shot. You challenged yourself. How important is that in success?
Because, I mean, for me, I don't make films depending on the actor I want to work with. I'm directed to the actor via the subject I want to make. And when Netflix got Archies to me, I mean, I love that comic book. And I wanted to do that. And that dictated the newcomers. Because they had to be 17 years old. The Archie characters are so iconic that you didn't want to take stars which already had an image and try to then mold that image. You wanted people nobody knew, and then they just can step into these shoes. So for me, the story and subject matter dictate the cast, not the other way around.
So you also launched among the 7 new individuals, newcomers, 3 star kids, right? Daughter of SRK, Big B's grandson Agastya, and Bonnie Kapoor's daughter Khushi. Now I want to just turn that Nepo question on its head a little bit and say that for you, like you said, it's very important to have a calm environment, right? So in a sense, you were taking a little bit more of a risk because here you were taking in star kids and you could possibly have the scepter of star mom, star dad, star grandmom, star granddads, like kind of interfering. Did you fear that?
No,
No, you didn't
No,
think
no.
that this would be an issue?
no,
And they didn't interfere?
no, no.
So in this case then, the sense that I'm getting that these kids' auditions must have been so spectacular, actually even better, and they had to work harder really in a sense because of their surnames to get these roles.
No, they didn't have to work harder to get the part. They had to do well. Like
Yeah.
everybody had to fit the part. So it wasn't like they had some 3 other obstacle races to run
Right.
that others didn't. Everybody auditioned, and I mean they were key roles, all of them. So
Yeah.
yes, they had to. And some like say like a mayor who plays Jughead, he has more acting experience. So he was quicker at it, you know, like he just nailed
Yeah,
it in
because
one.
he's in Made in Heaven and he's in a
Yes.
completely
Yes, so
different
he's
role there.
he's much more experienced. So it depends on that.
Okay, so time's up. I'm going to have one last question. As a director, you are celebrated as someone who can balance movies that get critical acclaim, are able to give a subtle message, but at the same time are really commercially viable. And as CEOs and business leaders, very often we are dealing with making something profitable, sticking to our core values, and sometimes those 2 things can be at odds, right? But you have found the optimal balance. So how do you do it, and what can we learn from your experience here, your success mantras for getting this perfect balance?
I mean, I hope I get it right, but I just feel.
Now you're being modest.
No. That hit like yeah. I mean,
You are being modest, Zoya.
no. See, the thing is, it's all relative in my business. Like some people have box office numbers that are way more than any of my films have ever arrived at, or some people don't. So I mean, it's subjective, it's relative, you know.
Okay.
It's a very relative place, but I believe that I have to do what I want to do. Like I'm not good at making a project. I can't approach the business in that way.
Okay.
Like I can't spend 2 or 3 years of my life making a project like this will put this together and make this movie and it'll work. I'm not that filmmaker. You know, I have to really resonate with the subject. It has to excite me visually. It has to be new for me. It has to scare me a little bit. You know, like how the hell
Out
am
of
I?
your comfort zone.
Yeah,
you
it
mean.
has to push me a little bit out of my comfort zone. How am I going to achieve this? Or am I going to be able to tell this story? How am I going to put this together? Then I'm a little excited. And sometimes those things will work and sometimes they won't. I don't know. But I do it to the best of my ability. And I make sure my music works. I make sure the cast and marketing, you know, the general stuff that you have to do to make it correct. I do all those things. But I work from my heart as well as my head. You know, it's not just my head.
So one of the things that you do is you said best of your abilities also to be able to get the best out of everybody else.
Yes.
Whoever is there, right?
Yes.
So how do you manage to do that? And can you tell us when it's the last scene, like when there's no retake possible, right? There's no retake in a lot of our businesses. Like you just got to go with it. That's it. Then it's done. How do you get the best out of people?
I think work with who you're comfortable with. Work with people. If instinctually you feel this person's not working out, fire them. Simple. Don't waste time. If your instinct is saying it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. Go. I believe in my gut in that way. I have very clear communication with people I work with because I'm in an extremely collaborative business. I work with all aspects of art, whether it's music, whether it's lighting, whether it's acting, whether it's dance, whether it's a costume. I work with all kinds of artists. So you have to have very clear communication to your vision. You have to allow space for them to bring the best because they are masters at their craft. You cannot micromanage and control because you won't do it as well. So you are the yay and nay after you put your vision out because they will take you to another level. And you have to share the ownership. It can't be like, oh, this is my film. They have to own it. They have to feel it's theirs because only then you get the best out. You have to share.
Thank you so much. I
Thank
hope
you.
that you have all learned some things from the session. I know I have. I think kindness is a good one. And I think just keeping it simple. Like, just don't overcomplicate it. It is head and heart. Feel it in the gut. Be kind to people and share the limelight. Not make it all about you. Right? And it has to resonate. So thank you very much.
Thank you
You
for
just make it
calling
sound
me.
so simple. It isn't that simple, but yes, we'll
I
take
just
that away.
collaborated with your sister. That was
Yes.
a very fun
She is
time.
hard to collaborate with.
No, I had a really good time with her actually.
You seem to have a very good time with your own sibling as well. So, you're just more collaborative as a person.
Yeah, I don't have a choice if you're a filmmaker.
That's true. No, but some people are not that collaborative. I mean,
I wouldn't enjoy that atmosphere. I mean, you don't want to go to work and not have fun.
okay, so we're taking that away with
Yeah.
us. Have fun at work, and today is a Friday. So,
Yes.
if you're having
Thank
fun
you.
at work, then there's no sense of weekends,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Zoya.
you. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you, Zoya. Thank you, Kali. Kali, can I ask a quick question? You started off by asking about Zoya's Archie's character for the day. Which Archie's character are you feeling like today? Mic's on? Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
I kind of always feel a bit like Betty, as if I'm like sort of sacrificing for somebody else. I kind of tend to make myself a victim sometimes. I want to be a Ronnie, but I tend to become a Betty. So I can kind of be between Ronnie and Betty in the same evening. Depends which part of the evening you meet me.
Super duper. Thank you so much for that absolute boss woman session. Can we please request you to stay on stage for just a couple of minutes, Zoya? I'd like to request Ambuj Narayan, CEO at Tata Tenera, to express a token of our gratitude to our esteemed guest. Ambuj, a quick photo as well before you Thank you for that extremely enthralling session. A huge round of applause, please. And you know exactly what to add to your watch list as soon as you get home if you haven't already. Enjoy the weekend and enjoy the show for today because there's a lot more left on this particular show.